Oh, man. Spencer Uncensored, episode number 89? Pretty sure it's 89, my friends. I am, look at me. I'm not in a black t-shirt. I don't have my hat on that I usually wear. I'm in blue. I actually like the color blue. It looks good on me, but, for the sake of branding, I do my best to keep things with the black shirt and so on. But anyway, moving along, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Spencer Uncensored. I'm probably going to be all over the place tonight, but I'm going to share a few things. First thing I am going to tell you, though, first copies of the book have gone out. So if those of you that pre-ordered, you got a signed copy in the mail with a couple of little tiny goodies, nothing major, but it was, I hope there was something a little special when you opened it up for yourself. But we're excited. We got some things moving out. So the books have been sent out. We have the new blog that's set up called SpencerUncensored.com. So now all the articles all the way back from way back when I didn't have quite as much gray in my hair is there. So we got in some things. I go back and watch. I had to go back, of course, and move all those blogs individually. And I thought to myself, man, some of this stuff, maybe I shouldn't repost it. And I thought, nope, that's been my journey. So I put it on there. You guys can go see all those. There's over 100 different blog posts and videos and things there. Every time we do one of these, by the way, it usually will show up there on SpencerUncensored.com, usually by the end of the week or early part of the following week. So it's not, those of you that are here, you get to get it live as it comes on and we can interact, right? Yep, Dan got his book. Cool, yeah, and thank you for posting it in here. By the way, those of you that get the book, feel free to make it, don't feel free. I just want you to, selfishly, I need to get the word out. So, let the world know you got your book. And more importantly, if you got anything specific out of the book when you started reading through it, it was, it's what you got something out of it, share it with the world, right? The cool thing about the book is the way it was formatted. I wasn't thrilled about some of the formatting because of the way I think we could do it a little bit better, but we can do that on the next one, right? What I do think is good, though, is that it's actually a good size in terms of the way it's formatted, that you can actually make notes in there pretty easily. So anyway, moving along, I've been interviewed a couple times in the last couple of weeks. A new one keeps popping out. I think today we just gave everyone I think it was Unleashing Potential podcast that I did with the young lady that I talked to you guys about last week. The one that was asking me some questions that I hadn't been asked before. That was pretty good. So that's up. You can go to SpencerUncensored.com and it should be the most recent post there. We also got the link set back up for those of you that want to, that are, you want to work with me. You're just not sure how or in what capacity because we have so many different opportunities and ways to do that. So if you wanted to do a one-on-one conversation, we'll walk through that. We'll make sure that you get evaluated, your business gets evaluated, and we clarify what you're looking for so that I can then, guide you in the right direction. So that's over at spencercombs.com/eval if you're looking for it. But it is there. We also, let's see. This month in September for me has always been a month where, and this might be a good idea for you, by the way, is a good time of the year to reevaluate what you're doing for the year, close out the year in terms of what I'm going to do the last quarter, and then take the time to set yourself up so that you use the last quarter of like in this case, 2024. So the last 3 months of this year to ramp up into 2025, right? So I have been doing that, and and almost always I strip down everything and rebuild it back. If there's some things we're going to keep, some things we do keep, some things we don't keep, we don't, right? Some of the things that I have been working on, possibly putting on the chopping block, would include some of the group stuff and the way that we're doing it. consolidating a few things. So part of that is really, it's always been an interest and or a dream of mine, because I believe it's extremely powerful to have this one all-inclusive program that right now I'm naming, we're just calling it the Unshakable Alliance. It's a working title for now. If you got a good name for something like this, let me know, right? But some of them are so overused, like Mastermind or Inner Circle. But this is a program where basically it's all inclusive of everything we do, right? So there's some one-on-one element. There's everything that I have in my libraries that we're building. 3 in-person masterminds in Jacksonville, Florida, so that you'd come meet with other business owners and interact and talk. Wouldn't it be helpful to you to be able to sit down in the room with, like, just one of my clients, has a $20 million insurance agency. Would it be nice to kind of find out what he's working on and what's his challenges, and then help him at the same time, him help you, right? Things like that. So, and including with that, my core program, which is a 4-day deep dive personal development program. It's a breakthrough program, really is what it is. The couples retreat, which is not really a retreat, it's a couples planning trip, right? So that all of this stuff would be inclusive, and that's really what we're working towards. And kind of what's the value ladder in getting people up into that as we move forward. So that's been a lot of the conversation I've been having. And then of course, we have the Unshakable Edge, Unshakable Edge Pro. These are all programs that we do, which is why I encourage people just go to spencercombs.com/eval. Let's talk, and then I'll point you in the right direction, with what program makes the most sense. And then of course I'm also I'm looking for places to speak, as many places as possible. That's why I'm on all these freaking podcasts that I've been on recently. Anywhere that'll listen to me talk about momentum and mastery, we're going to do it, because I think it's a powerful program. I think it's super helpful. Next month in October, we're going to be speaking for a brokerage that has 5 locations across the state of South Carolina. So we're going to be there as their keynote, and I'm excited about that. They're excited about having me coming in. We're going to have a good time doing that. So there's a lot of things in the horizon here, and any way that I could help you guys, let me know. You can go to, like I said, the spencercombs.com/eval if you already know you want to work with me, you're just not quite sure how, or at least explore options. That's how you do it. Okay. Couple of things for tonight. Here's what I got for you. One, we've been working hard to figure out kind of what is the pain point that would lead someone to momentum and mastery. That whole, and if you've been hanging out with me for a while, like Dan, who commented on here earlier, he's been hanging out with me for a couple years now. If you've been hanging out with me for a while, you know a little bit about momentum and mastery and the drift to drive framework and the qualified champions framework. And you've got a sense for all that kind of stuff. But honestly, it's a diagnostic tool. And the problem that's been perplexing me, that I have been steadily working through, is what is the pain that someone is going through, that this is the natural next step or solution. Well, honestly, everything that I've ever done has always been super focused on creating congruency, and the reason why someone would need this information is incongruency. Well, that's not sexy at all. Nobody gives a shit about it, whether it's I'm congruent, my business is congruent. Nobody cares about that. Let's just be real. I know this, right? But it's like a doctor trying to get deep into the conversation around actual, medical conversations. Nobody cares about that. I just know when I feel better, right? Well, I have to find a way to get it even more in conversation. And what I'm beginning to, I guess, uncover in this discussion is that much of the people that need this is experiencing some sort of chaos, right? And the chaos is really just a symptom of the real problem. The real problem is confusion and inconsistency. The reason most people aren't getting where they want to go is because they're confused, right? There's no clarity at all. Now you can ask the average business owner or business leader or whatever and say, hey, what's your focus? Well, we're looking to make more money. That is not very clear, right? Well, we want to be successful. What do you mean by that, right? Well, I have to make more calls. I have to build a better widget. I have to do, right? What does all that mean? Very few people have any level of clarity around what it means to be where they want to go. But the real culprit in all this conversation, when we say, that confusion is a problem and inconsistency is a problem, first of all, a confused mind will almost always say no. We are extremely, extremely stimulated. I was just sitting here earlier today looking at all these books I have. And I got like old school CDs. I even have a couple of VHS tapes back there. Like there's all kinds of stuff here that I really need to get digitized. But that's a lot of information. And somebody was looking at all that. We're like, where do I start? I want to grow. I want to do. I want to have more. I want to be more. I want to, right? All these things. Where do I start? And that lack of clarity from the overstimulation. I got statistics in front of me here. Let me look at these. Here's a random one. This year, approximately 52% of workers report that the constant influx of information contributes to anxiety and stress. That's a sharp increase from just a few years ago at 37%. So basically, a little over half the people in the workforce today are feeling some sort of stress and anxiety. They can't handle it because of the max amount of information that's coming at them. The medication is off the charts for these days because people don't know how to deal with it, for one. Then on top of that, you overstimulate them. This is causing a lack of clarity. When there's no clarity, there's no consistency. So what happens is then they all just start getting, they freeze up. They don't know what to do with all this overstimulation. When you look at, and I don't have to go far into this, I'm helping you guys see that sometimes when you might have a really good product, something that's really cool, you think everybody should be, nobody's going to buy it unless you know how to articulate it in a way that shows the pain, and then this is your antidote, right? This is your solution. I'm going to encourage you to look at your own business and do that. The other part of this is also making sure that it's a concept that resonates, a concept that sticks. So I have multiple coaches, but the one that helps me the most in this particular arena, is Coach Michael Burt. Now he's actually the guy that wrote the, which I was very grateful for, little special message at the beginning. But he has a whole thing called Package Your Purpose. And he talks a lot about the concept, right? So somebody sent me a text earlier today and said, hey, what do you think about this name for a website? Now, this is someone who has physical products, like craft products. Basically, oh gosh, what's it called? Well, basically, it's a product website, right? So she'll put things up for people to buy. Not looking to do huge enterprise, drop ship type things, but just, wants to have a site. We're talking about creating a good concept. It needs something that sticks, right? How do you name a website? Right? What's the concept you're going to use? So for her, I'm going to have to walk her through. I didn't respond to the text, but I will. I go to things like social media sites and put in the suggested name, right? Let's use real estate because there's a lot of real estate agents that get in here and they start buying. Number one, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have your own name, you need to buy your name. Go to GoDaddy.com and buy your name. Hopefully, it's not already been bought. Okay? I had to pay $800 to get mine back once, a long time ago, because there's more than one Spencer Combs in the world. But if you haven't purchased your own name as a domain, that's a mistake. It doesn't cost that much. Buy your name. GoDaddy.com. Buy it. And there's plenty of other sites you can buy from too. That's just the one that I have because I have for years, and so I have all of my URLs there. But if you're gonna do a website and you're a real estate agent, you could buy multiple URLs, by the way, and have them pointed at the same site. Okay. But if you're gonna buy one, take a look and see what's already out there. I get a lot of good ideas by going to other areas. So as a real estate agent, I would go, like I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I would look at other cities that weren't even close to where I am and just look up real estate in that area and look at the domain names. Okay? Once you get past all the big boys, right? Look at the domain names. But you're looking for names that are easy to be remembered. You can just say it off the cuff, just like I just told you. SpencerCombs.com is pretty easy, right? My blog, SpencerUncensored.com, right? Oh, you want to buy the book? That's MomentumandMastery.com, right? I do that. Things like Momentum and Mastery, by the way, because it was going to be a book and it's going to have its own brand and so on. I take it over to Instagram. I go over to Facebook. I type it in. I see if there's anything that's already there. I don't want something that a bunch of people have. There's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of things that kind of overlap. But in any event, right, as a real estate agent, look in other cities and just see kind of what names stick out. Things that make sense to you. All right. I used to have coolcolumbia.com when I was in real estate doing active real estate in Columbia, South Carolina. And then I made the logo a little thumbs up. I paid some dude to give me it looked just like, very similar to a Facebook thumbs up, right? And then everything was cool Columbia, like everything was cool. We think this is cool. Check out this cool house, right? And it was a little bit cheeky because the fact is, Columbia, South Carolina, honestly, is like the armpit of the South. It's hot as hell, and it is extremely, it's extremely humid too, right? And so, cool Columbia just didn't sound right. But then again, it stuck out. People remembered it, right? So, in any event, do some searches, do some social searches. And in my case, like when I'm doing a new concept, working on, building this stuff up for a keynote and all that, I go to Amazon and I type it in to see what else is already out there. What other books are already out there, right? I'm looking to find out and make sure that it's not in the same vein as everyone else. So this is a marketing conversation because before you can really get it into the hands of the masses, your concept needs to be simple enough that people will remember it, and it's got to be something that they want. And that's not just what they want. It could be something that they want to get away from, right? It's about the problem they're looking to solve. When somebody sees Momentum and Mastery, this isn't a terrible title, but then again, people don't just roll out of bed in the morning and go, you know what? I need some momentum. I need mastery today, right? So I'm not knocking my own title. I'm just trying to help everybody understand. This is actually this was my endeavor to get all of my primary structures on paper, work through the system so that people would so that I could understand it well enough, because it makes a difference in people's lives. I needed to just capture all of that. Now I got to turn to the selling of it. And the way we do that is with a strong concept that's sexy, that somebody would actually want to sign for. Let me give you my money. right? I think at the end of the day, too, sometimes we forget without sales, you have no health in your business. You could talk a good game, but if you're not selling something, like if money is not exchanging hands, you don't have a business. Feels like a little bit random tonight, but I think that the conversation around confusion is something we're going to be talking a lot more. I'm going to have to hammer a lot more because that is a problem today. It's an extreme problem today. I I have 20 of the most popular cliches written down. Things like, business cliches, right? Things you hear on the internet all the time. Fail fast and fail often. How many times you heard that one, right? Well, then of course you got the ones that say things like, better safe than sorry. Is there any wonder why we have a little confusion? How about change is the only constant, right? So everything's changing, right? Right? Change is inevitable. It's another way that you'd hear that from some of your internet gurus. Well, maybe that's true, but then at the same time, we're told that consistency matters, right? Steady wins the race. Hold on now, right? Dan says slow and steady wins the race, and then at the same time, fail fast, right? Or these are the thoughts that we have in our head, and we wonder why we have a state of confusion, and we don't make progress. How do we fix this? Oh, yep. That's where we're headed tonight. I'm trusting this was useful for you. Rambled here for about 20, 25 minutes or so. If you haven't got a copy of the book, order the book over at momentumandmastery.com. You can get it from Amazon, but if you do it there, you will not get the free version, and you won't get I won't get it in between and sign it for you and that kind of stuff. Plus, I give you the digital version when you buy it from me also. Let the world know. Thank you for your time tonight. If you need anything from me, I will look forward to hearing from you soon.